So everything that we believe is notional. A belief is a notion. It's a notion that by various means we come to accept as true, as factual. And one of the most powerful notions that most of us believe in is the notion of a body. We assume that this is actually an indisputable physical fact. But we've been exploring the notional nature of the body in the last few videos. And it's a very useful notion to have, of course. It allows us to interact and do all sorts of things. The trouble with notions of a body, notions of a world out there or in here, notions of an identity, a personal identity, is that belief in these notions, belief in the truth of these notions, gives rise to suffering, gives rise to sorrow. And this is what's pointed out in the next part of this chapter. So if it seems a little bit uncompassionate, then put it into context. It arises because of our fundamental belief in the truth of our ideas, our notions about things. This is the cause of suffering. The ignorant man who thinks he is suffering, and whose face is streaming constantly with tears, is worse than a painting or a statue, for the latter is free from experience of sorrow. Nor is the statue subject to illness and death. The statue is destroyed only when someone destroys it, but the human body is certainly doomed to die. We identify with this notion of the body, and yet the body does its own thing. It's going to die, and yet people are continuously trying to arrest this fact, and much of the consumer society is based on this, keeping the body young, as if there's something wrong with it being old and all the rest of it. But the point is, the body is going to die, and yet we identify avidly with it. And how much suffering does that produce? So the point here is that even a statue is better off, or a painting. So we'd be better off identifying with a statue, wouldn't we? If the statue is well protected and preserved, it lasts a long time in good condition. But even when well protected and preserved, the human body decays from day to day and does not remain in good condition. Hence the statue is better than the body created by thoughts and notions. Who will entertain any hopes based on such a human body? Well, the fact is, most people do. The body is worse than even the body one dreams about. The dream body is created by a short-lived notion, the dream, and hence it is not subjected to long-standing sorrow. But the wakeful body is the product of long-standing ideas and notions, and hence it is tormented by long-standing sorrow for a long time. Whether you think that the body is real or unreal, it is certain that it is the product of thoughts and notions. Hence there need be no sorrow in relation to it. All we've got are thoughts and notions about our body, and usually they're completely at variance to how other people perceive our body. And this is certainly the case with many women who are put under tremendous pressure to appear, to make their appearance conform to certain standards. But it's all notional. You'll have the skinny girl who starves herself because she thinks she's fat, and the fat girl who thinks she's a sylph-like waif. Even as when a statue is broken, no life is lost. When the body born of thoughts and notions is dead, nothing is lost. It is like the loss of the second moon when one is cured of diplopia. The self, which is infinite consciousness, does not die, nor does it undergo any change whatsoever. So this is what we have the possibility of identifying with. We have the possibility of identifying with our own awareness. But this awareness has got nothing to do with the body. It's got nothing to do with our personal identity. It's rather like these sayings that to live you must die. You have to give up all identification with your separate ego, your ego sense. You have to realize that everything you believe in is notional and has no truth whatsoever. You have to be able to let go of everything as if you're about to die. You're going to have to die anyway at some point. At some point you will be letting go of everything, whether you want to or not. From the point of view of spiritual practice, we have the possibility of letting go of everything now. And as we're often told in the Yoga Vasishta, there's nothing to grieve for. Because when you let go of everything, you gain everything. You gain more than was ever thought possible. It was described previously as being like the emperor of the world. You realize that actually everything arises within you, and you already have everything in the most intimate way possible. But you have to be able to die to the world. You need to be able to let go of everything. And it's not about letting go of everything. It's not about losing anything. It's about gaining everything. It's about realizing your essential identity as the Absolute.